Okay, I want to show you an analogy about grief. It encompasses a ball, a box, and a button. So here's your box. Okay, so imagine that grief is a ball inside a box. And inside that box, there's also a button. The button is a pain button. Obviously, my artistic skills are not on point, but you get the gist. So the ball is you, and this is a pain button. Okay? So imagine this is the picture of grief for this analogy. Okay? So we're going to draw that again, and we're going to show you how at first, in the beginning of the incident that has brought you grief, the ball is very large, okay? So it pretty much takes up the whole box, okay? It won't go outside the box like I just drew my ball, but you get it, right? Okay, and then you have this button here. So no matter what, if you were to roll the ball or shake the box, this ball is going to hit the button, okay? And every time this ball gets shaken and it hits the button, it sends pain to you. So you receive pain every time you hit this button. Things that can shake the box is, pretty much any reminder of the grief. So if it's someone who passed away, maybe seeing pictures of the person that passed away, going through their home and seeing just their stuff. If you have to go through their home to sell it. Places that you've enjoyed going with that person to. So pretty much anything that is a reminder of the grief or the person that you're grieving is something that would shake the box. So it's going to push this box and make it shake, okay? So those are box shakers, which are basically triggers. And they're going to shake that box, and every time it gets shaken, that ball's going to hit that pain button and you're going to feel pain. But as time goes by, the ball gets smaller and smaller. Okay? So when the ball is smaller, there's less of a chance for it to hit the pain button. It might bounce around and hit some of the sides before it hits the button. So let's say the ball is this big. So if you're shaking it, it could hit this, it could hit here, it could hit here before it even hits the pain button. Whereas with the bigger one, no matter where it hit first, it's no matter what, it's going to hit the pain button, no matter what. But here, if it gets shaken by any of those triggers, the ball may not even hit the pain button. However, Another thing as well is we have coping skills. So in addition to the pain getting maybe a little bit smaller and the grief getting a little bit smaller, is you might have coping skills. So even though if the box gets shaken, you might have a coping skill that might block the shake. So let me put some of those triggers again. So reminder, picture, places. Okay. So those things are the box shakers. So they're going to try to shake the box, right? So here's the little stem that's shaking the box from those. But if we get a reminder and we have a coping skill of talking to a friend, the reminder is going to try to shake the box, but instead you're going to talk to a friend and it's going to block that shake. So then the ball doesn't even have a chance of hitting the pane. So that's kind of the gist of having coping skills. Taking a nap. Going for a walk. So the pain never really goes away. There's always going to be a pain button. But your grief could get smaller. And even though your grief gets smaller, and there's always going to be triggers for that grief, if you put up coping skills, that'll be the padding to make the box stay still and not shake and not give it the chance to hit the pain button. If we take away the coping skill, then this reminder might push the grief box and get past that coping skill, but because it's a little bit smaller, it may push it, and this is going to hit up here, go down there, go up there, and then it's going to slow down. It might not even hit this button at all. So there's a bigger chance as time goes by that your grief is not going to make as much pain as it would in the beginning stages. But adding coping skills is always the best option because it's going to add that padding. So it's important when you're going through grief to not only give yourself time for the grief to get smaller, but also to add coping skills so that it gives you that padding for the button. And that's a visual for you for grief.